Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at a Future Box deck list. Now, we will be taking a look at LDF's deck list, which I haven't touched a single card in that because I want to play it how it was. But for this one, I went around a few online tournaments and just put together my own Future Box list. Now, as you'll notice, we are not playing Iron Hands in here. That is why I want to save the LDF's Future Box, because he's playing a card that even I experimented with in a deck list at one point for fire coverage. But we'll cover that in a separate video in the future. Pardon the pun, of course. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be usual timestamps. There's going to be the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. Then of course there'll be the games that we'll play, and of course the outro and what I think of the deck. So as per normal, we do have the Miraidon to accelerate energy into play with its peak acceleration attack. We can of course buff this damage to potentially 100 damage, but realistically, we're not exactly going to be doing peak acceleration for 100 as our main attack. That's not the idea. Of course, the main idea is, of course, we want to set up our various attackers. So we have Iron Leaves in here to obviously cover Grass Weak matchups. So even with just one Iron Crown down, Iron Leaves can do 200 damage and wipe out anything that is Grass Weak in the format. So for example, Charizard, if it had Air Escape, that'd be a different story, but Charizard can obviously be taken out without the need of that. Same with Grimmsnarl, but obviously if we meet a Cynthia's Garchomp with a power weight, we would need at least one Iron Crown to do it. And of course, if it was something like a Hero Escape Charizard, we'd need two. But we do play plenty of ways to get that into play. And obviously, Rapid Veneer basically powers itself up, because obviously it takes energy from the other Pokemon on the board. So we can use that to our advantage as well. Of course, we are playing one Iron Bundle as well, but no Water Energy in the list. I would love to slip a Water Energy in this list, but I decided against it. If the defending Pokemon is an Evolution Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. That could come up, and obviously we're playing an all-basic deck, but maybe that's something to explore for the future, pardon the pun. Of course, Iron Crown does have an attack as well, Twin Shottles. This attack does 50 damage to two of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance, or any effects on these Pokemon. Now, of course, we can, and this is severe copium, but we can do it, we can get Iron Crown powered up in one turn. But to do that, you would need an Ultra Ball, 2 energy in hand, well, you'd need 3 energy in hand, actually. You'd need 2 E-Switches, plus a manual attach that is a Psychic Energy, and all that just to take out 2 spiders in the Mewtwo matchup. So as you can imagine, we're not really going to bother with that. If we have to attack with Twin Shuttles, it will probably be to finish something off. But just bear in mind, for those that want to know, Cobalt Command does not increase the damage of this, it will just be base 50. Of course, our main attacker is actually going to be a card that's going to rotate soon, and that's kind of why I wanted to take a look at this list, and obviously have a go of it. Iron Valiant EX obviously rotates in April of next year, and well, as I said in the Garganacl video, which we would have seen previously, I do want to take a look at some of these EXs before they rotate. Tachyon Bits lets us put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and of course the main attack Laser Blade for 200 can clean up some basic EXs, with obviously the crowns in play, but of course the Tachyon Bits is primarily why we're doing it. I did go up to 4 Iron Valiants. Most lists were playing 3, but I wanted to play 4 just so we had the extra Tachyon Bits advantage. But other than that, it's a pretty much straight list, so let's go take a look at it. And welcome to the deck list. So obviously we are playing a high amount of switch in here. That's purely for the Iron Valiant, because obviously if we do end up going first and we're facing a basic Pokemon like 70, 60 HP, etc., we could potentially donk them with the Tachyon Bits. Same as if they put down something like a Joltik or a Cleffa, we can potentially take a free prize with Tachyon Bits before we even start getting into the game and obviously going first and everything. But obviously Iron Valiant EX is just useful to have in the deck anyway, and obviously we're playing 3 Iron Crowns to facilitate that. So that's what I wanted to look at. So we are playing 4 Iron Valiants, 3 Iron Crowns, 2 Iron Leaves, 2 Miraidons, 1 Iron Bundle, 1 Mew, and 1 Fez. As for supporters, we're playing 4 Arven, 2 Iono, 2 Research, 2 Surfer, which is a really interesting card. I like this card, but so many people don't. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. It's here for the Valiant, in case that wasn't obvious. Force Switch for the Valiant. Techno Radar to obviously search out our future Pokemon. 2 Pokemon Catcher. This is primarily for soft gusting, because as you'll notice, there is actually no boss in here, which is actually surprising when you think about it. But the actual list wasn't playing any boss, it was just playing Pokemon Catchers, which I thought, I actually want to see how this performs, because, you know, it's unusual to see that. There's not even a counter catcher in here, so it's actually quite interesting. 2 Energy Switch, 1 Nest Ball, and finally our A-Spec, well, at least for now, the A-Spec Reboot Pod. Attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to each of your future Pokemon, which is why the E-Switch is here, so we can potentially go Miraidon, Iron Leaves, Iron Crown, etc. if we have a load of energy in the discard. Obviously, the Jet Energy can't be recycled, but genuinely, this card will come up, I'm pretty certain. 1 Night Stretcher, 1 Earthen Vessel, 4 Future Booster Energy Capsules, 2 EXP shares to obviously make sure we can keep energy in play, 2 Gravity Mountains, this is just to help attackers get to the big boys easier. Then of course 6 Basic Psychic, 4 Basic Grass, and 2 basic, well, I just said 2 Basic Jet Energy, they're definitely not Basic Energy. 2 Jet Energy, and again, this is to facilitate the Iron Valiants anyway. And of course, move around our various attackers and everything that we need. Obviously, this is not... Well, I'm going to say this off the bat. I don't think this is the best Future Box list you can play. I just wanted to build one around Iron Valiant. And obviously, I've done a few other things to facilitate that. Obviously, one of the original lists, which is primarily what this is based off of an online tournament one. As I said, it didn't play any Gust. It just had Pokemon Catchers. And I thought, well... He's obviously done well with it, because, you know, he did really well in the online tournament with it. So, why not give it a try? But... still, I'm looking forward to see how this does. So, let's get into some games, see how we do. And welcome to the first game. So if you've skipped the deck list and everything, you'll notice this is a non-Iron Hands list. I'm saving LDFs because I'm going to do LDF's Future Box deck at some point. I'm saving that for another time. Because I kind of want to just try it as an Iron Valiant version, and if it doesn't work out, which, you know, it'll happen, I want to see it, you know, in action, so to speak. So, that's fine. We can start Miraidon. I would have loved to have had a an energy or like a Future Booster Energy Capsule here. I don't know why I pressed first, neither. I think it's just because my brain... So I've not long recorded the Garganacl video, and my brain is absolutely flustered from that. Okay, Monkey Dory, that's fine. And, well, speak of the devil, and it shall appear, there's a Future Booster Energy Capsule. Because what we can do is we can go into, in fact, we can bench the Crown, we can retreat into the Valiant, ping this, and do that. But I think for now, we just pass. Obviously, Valiant is Metal Weak, because it is part Fairy type, if memory serves. But, of course, it is something that we need to account for. Like I said, I don't know why I pressed first, because realistically, you want to go second with this. Valiant's just here to clean up some of the numbers. Obviously, Crown is weak to Dark, so we do need to bear that in mind. Obviously, Future Booster can help out Miraidon as well, so that's kind of why it's in here as well. There's some Evo. And looks like they're just going to get going with Evo, which is understandable. So obviously off the Arven, we primarily want a Earthen Vessel. I think they're doing a quick prize check because they haven't prize checked. Well, we haven't had a chance to. There's 1 Zoroark. And 2 Zoroark. So Zoroark is going to be pretty hard to deal with. But we can do it. Okay, there's an EXP share. So I can attach that to the Valiant. I'm going to play the Pokemon Catcher, because why not? Aye, that's good. We'll bring up the one with the gold on it. I can then Arven. Let's see if we've got our Earthen Vessel. We do. Excellent. So that's and a Future Booster Energy Capsule. So we're doing 80 damage with Peak Acceleration. So we'll get rid of you. Don't need Gravity Mountain in this matchup. I'll grab a Grass and a Psychic. I'll attach the Grass to the Miraidon. And Peak Acceleration for 80 damage. grab 2 Psychics. No, don't do that. And pop him on the Iron Valiant. Because what this now forces him to do is, obviously, he can move damage off with the Monkey Dory, but that doesn't hugely matter. Because we can potentially go for Attach, Future Booster here, Surfer for 5. Obviously, depending on our top deck. And we can potentially get another Crown down to deal the last 10 that we need. Cypher Mini-X Code Breaking, that's fine. Obviously, like I say, the Crowns are vulnerable in this matchup, so that's something to consider. And obviously, we do have the option of getting our Iron Leaves. So that's another thing to consider. This is not like, you know, it's not obviously a bad matchup, but the fact that the Crowns are so vulnerable is what makes this pretty rough. But we can do it. We can definitely do it. So what they would need is they would need a Dark Energy Plus. They would also need the Energy Switch, which would be nice. Obviously, we want to get an Iron Leaves down at some point anyway, so we can do that. There's PAL pads, that's fine. Obviously, I want to get some grass energy down as well at some point, so that's something to consider. There's that. Artisan, thin a card out. We can Artisan, but we can only really do it for the Iron Crowns, which is fine, but we can deal with that. There's the Reshi, so that means our Crown could be under threat. PP up. He's already put a Stadium into play this turn, though, so that's something to consider. Because what we can do is we can always just go Peak Acceleration, put more grass in play. Okay, Adrenabrain 3 off. Probably pop it on the Valiant, make the Valiant a bit easier to KO. No, he's putting it on the Miraidon. That doesn't make any sense. But, I mean, it's your deck, mate. It's not my choice. I wouldn't have put it there. I'd put it on the Valiant, but hey-ho. Like I say, he kind of buggered up putting this Artisan in play. Like, he had to get the Reshiram anyway. But I think his Cypher Maniac was not a good choice. With obviously, I don't know what he's Cypher Maniac for. But I would imagine surely a Nest Ball plus End's Castle would have probably done it. I don't know what he Cypher Maniac for. I think he's screwed up and he's just realised that. So what we can do is, of course, we can just Peak Acceleration into this Zoroark, grab 2 more grass and go from there. And it looks like now, because he's annoyed he's misplayed, he's now taking it out on me and slow playing. We love that. Okay, so we're going to attach to you. We can then go into the Iron Valiant. We can actually ping the damage onto here, but I'm actually going to ping it on the Zoroark here. But then again, it makes sense to take out the attacker, so we're going to do that. Or the potential attacker. So then, we're going to attach to the Iron Valiant. Artisan, to try and thin a card out. Then I can Surfer into the Miraidon. Draw 5. There's another Crown. Good. We can just Peak Acceleration here, but for the sake of it, we're just going to take it out with Laser Blade. And that's the first 2 prizes. There's a Surfer and a Jet Energy. That's fine. Now, he can boss a Crown or counter catcher a Crown, which would be a bad thing, but we can deal with that. There's a Flip the Script. That's fine. There's another Zorua. Trade discarding. Let's see what he discards. Okay, that's fine. Just gotta hope we don't find a counter catcher for any of these Crowns, because that could be bad. If he does, though, that does reset our Iron Valiant's attack. Okay, that's a problem. That is a major issue. Counter catcher maximum belt? Huh? Well, you definitely don't need the max belt. Well, you need the max belt for the Valiant, but why did you reveal that then? Why did you reveal that? That's just dumb. You don't need the maximum belt. It's weak to dark. Oh, this person's heavily misplaying. Hopefully I can punish that. I'm hoping I can. Obviously, with all these energy in hand, it don't really help matters, but, you know. This is, how did he not realise that? Like, you hit me for dark weakness. Alright, that's fine. That is fine, Chief. We'll promote the Miraidon. Because, well, we have free retreat. We might as well. Okay, there's a research. So, I could attach to the Miraidon and potentially get something off of the research. Because then we can just rapid veneer and take out this. So let's go for the research. There's a leaves, excellent. So we'll bump the stadium. We can then bench the iron leaves. We can use rapid veneer. So we'll move. Well, would have been nice if it actually looked me. Move 2 grass off of you, and then move a psychic energy here. We can't EXP show, but we can put it on the Iron Valiant here. So let's do that. And yeah, we just Prism Edge for 400 damage. Take out the Zoroark. I really would love to know why they didn't read the card, but hey ho, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna, you know, sugarcoat it. If the opponent misplays, I'm gonna leave it in the video, you know. And well, there's another Zoroark. So now their maximum belt is down. Darmanitan is an issue, but obviously Zoroark only copies the attack, not the type. And obviously we have game in hand if they don't disrupt us here. If they don't disrupt us, we just have game in hand. Because we could just go switch into any of our free treaters, and that's game. Excellent. I didn't think this non-Iron Hands list would work, but it seems to. Like I said, we have options in these matchups. It's just the big the big EXs I think we're going to struggle with, but hopefully we run into something that's grass weak. Right, let's go to game 2. And welcome back. I had to quickly go do something, so there's a few minutes in between me finishing that game and the start of this one. Must admit though, that list ran, well, our list ran pretty smoothly. Like, we didn't see any real Techno Radars, but to be honest, like, the fact that we had the coverage there was just so important. Obviously, when we take a look at LDF's Future Box list, that is more type coverage oriented. Obviously, it has the Iron Hands as an option. It has the Iron Moth as an option, which, you know, I'm a connoisseur when it comes to spice, and well, having that is actually pretty neat. And it's Ethan's Typhlosion. This is going to be tough. Bench, bench, psychic, pass. This is going to be a tough matchup, I think. And it's the Dunsparce version, so if he's playing the Dun EX, which I believe some are, this could be rough. There's an energy. Hopefully a pass from here. Nope, an Arven. Do you not play TM Evo? Because why did you attach to the bench? That doesn't make any sense. Rare Candy Brave Bangle. Well, that tells me exactly what you're going to be doing next turn. Something tells me you have a Typhlosion in hand. But even then, why would you go straight into it? It only does 60 damage at the minute. Well, in fact, it doesn't even do that. Right, so, EXP share. I mean, we can Energy Switch just to thin a card out. Attach. In fact, I don't want to attach for turn. I was going to Mew, but we need to Iono first. We can hopefully thin some cards out and then Mew. Okay, Techno Radar's good. Techno Radar the Iron Bundle. We can grab a Miraidon and we need a Crown. Because otherwise we can't take out the Cyndaquil. I just realised I had a Crown in hand, but it's fine. Attach here. I'll attach a Grass. Retreat. Mew for 1. There's an Arven, that's going to be useful later. And then Peak Acceleration, 480. Take out the Cyndaquil. And put some Psychics in play. There we go. I don't get why it's so buggy. It's just, it's annoying, to say the least. Now, here's the thing. Let me just read Future Booster. Yeah, I didn't think so. What I was thinking was we could power up the Iron Crown and do something with that, but no, I had to reread Future Booster Energy Capsule, so yeah. Let's see what he gets off of here, because obviously he can't do a lot of damage. Let's see, look, there's the first one, so I think he's doing I can't remember its attack like thingy. It's 60 for each Ethan's Adventure. I know that much. The Brave Bangle is obviously an issue, but I'm more focused on taking the energy out of play. The Brave Bangle won't get him over the line, though. That's the important thing. Obviously, we could start pinging with Iron Valiants, but like I don't see the value in that, personally. There's the Bonabada Journey. I need to revisit this deck at some point, because obviously I don't have the... I obviously have it built IRL, but I haven't taken a look at it since, you know, like... Shall we say, like, since the Brave Bangle and everything came out. I haven't looked at the lists yet. I need to, because I do need to upgrade my Even Typhlosion list. I know there's not a lot to change, but it's still worth doing, at least until Megas come out, and then the deck kind of falls off, because, well, Megas are just so tanky at the minute. Alright. So there's an Arven. We can do that now. For a Pokemon Catcher and an EXP share. I think I will. Then again, Crown doesn't really come up, but it could. No. I'll put it on the Valiant. So now we'll Pokemon Catcher. That's 2 for 2. We will definitely take that. So we're doing 80 damage, so we need to put down a Crown. That's fine, I can live with that. Attached to the Valiant, and then Peak Acceleration for 100. Grab a Psychic and a Grass. We'll pop the Grass here, Psychic on the Crown. Because the Crown could come up in this matchup. I doubt it, but it could. Let's see what happens. So it's promoting the Quilava, which smells to me has got an attack. Obviously, he won't be doing a lot of damage. He'll be doing 100 damage right about now. 160. That's fine. Oh, you shouldn't have done that, my friend. You shouldn't have done that. Because you've only just evolved that this turn. So you can Body Blast and take it out, but I can just Iono and go from there. Okay, he's got the Ultra Ball, that's bad. Because now our Pokemon are under threat, that's fine. But we'll just have to deal with it. I'm just trying to think, do we do enough for Valiant Pings? No. But we could, never mind, he's just put down the Dunsparce. What I was thinking was, if we got 3 crowns in play, in fact no, we need 4 crowns, and we only play 3. This is going to be rough. Artisan. Depending on what he puts down could matter, because we could go with a crown. Okay, that's fine. Body Blast, 220, take out the Miraidon. Energy can go on this Valiant. Promote the Mew. And draw for turn. Okay, that does help. So, let's Arven. For a Switch. And an F-Beck. So what we can do is we can start threatening the Dunsparce. So we'll switch into the Valiant. Tachyon Bits the Dunsparce. Switch again into the Iron Valiant. Tachyon Bits. Then we can thin this out, I guess. We can definitely do that. Do I want to attach Jet anywhere? Because we retreated? Let me just double check. So I think we double switched, didn't we? Yeah. So we're going to attach to the Iron Crown. Mew for 2. Then we still have free retreat with the F-Beck. Okay, that's fine. So then we can free retreat into the Valiant and Laser Blade for 240. I want to try and force him to bring up this to evolve this Dunsparce, which, you know, there's a high chance he's got it, but I'd rather play into our outs. Because, you know, we don't have a lot here. This is quite an unfavoured matchup for us. If we can make it so that he doesn't find a Dodun, we will have a huge advantage here. Plus, I was going to say, he doesn't have a Cyndaquil down. There's Maximum Belt, but that means nothing at this point. Did he not? Why did he not grab back the Typhlosion? You've gotten rid of 3 Ethan's Adventures. This is strange. Well, there's the Typhlosion. So we could, if we get what we need, we could go in with a Crown. Because we can ping with the Iron Valiant on that Cyndaquil, get an energy for the Crown, crown the Dunsparce and the Cyndaquil, go down to 1. Okay, I think we have something here. So we're not going to do that. We want maximum value off of the Reboot Pod should we find it. I am playing to my outs today. What's up with my brain? I've never liked this. Okay, there's a Surfer, but obviously we want to hand disrupt because it's in size. So that's Artisan. We can get up the Miraidon just in case. So I'm going to Techno Radar the Surfer. We'll grab another Valiant. So we can do that. So we will free retreat into the Valiant. Tachyon Bits the Cyndaquil. Then we can switch. In fact, did we free retreated, didn't we? Yeah, so we need to go into the Crown. Pokémon Catcher. Okay, that's our first Tails. I'll take it though. And then we can Mew from 2. There's an Energy, so we can attack with a Crown. And then Iono. Okay, that's not great, but we got the Energy. So then we can Twin Shuttles. Take out the Dunsparce and the Cyndaquil. Take 2 prizes. So now he has to answer the Pokemon we have. There's a Psychic and an F-Beck. He has to answer the Crown. If he takes Valiant, we should still win. In fact, no, we can win with a Miraidon Boss. Well, in fact, no, we're not playing Boss, Joe. Remember that. Whew. Okay. Iron Bundle actually helps us here. There's Alana's Aid. If he plays the bundle, we just give him another Crown. That's fine. And in fact, if he leaves the Crown alive, we can just Twin Shuttles one of these Cyndaquils. He has to take out the Crown. And that's game. We have game with Valiant. So we don't need to do anything. Fair play to my opponent, though. I had to play that pretty well. Like, that took some playing. So then all we do is Laser Blade for 220 and take out the Typhlosion for game. That's pretty close, but the Crown came in clutch. Good job on Crown. Whew, that was a good one. I enjoyed that. Let's go to a game 3. I think we deserve a game 3 after that's done. And welcome back to game 3. That was a really good game against Ethan's Typhlosion. Did get a bit squeaky bum time, but I was not expecting the crown to come through for us there. But that's what I mean. I wanted to play the Valiant version of a Future Box deck, and well, that's kind of why I went for a few different lists and just cooked my own up. The fact that we had the option to just crown there, take out the Dunsparce and the Cyndaquil was just so vital. So vital. Let's see what we're facing against here. Although the coin tends to be a giveaway that it's a Marnie's deck. And he's going first. That's fine. We can deal with that. And well, Marnie's sleeves kind of tells me what I'm looking for here. That's fine. One mulligan, that is fine. We will use, well, we'll just promote the bundle. The bundle makes the most sense here. And it's a Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck, exactly like I thought. It's almost as if this deck was kind of obvious. You know? Immediately playing down an Artisan, which does help us, because we can find a, we can find what we need off of that, so that's fine. We can find a Miraidon off of that for free, so that's good. We'll do our price check once we Arven. So we'll Arven now. Let's have a look. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll take... What do we need here? Because we've got the Jet Energy to do stuff, so we can get Techno Radar. And an F-Beck. I'm just trying to think, can we take out this Snorunt in one turn? I don't think we can. We're a card short for that. So Techno Radar the Fez. We'll grab a Crown. And we're going to need a Leaves, but not now. So we'll grab a Val. So let's take the Crown. Actually... I've slightly misplayed there. Hold on. Actually, no, I haven't. Hold on. So, attached to the Miraidon, Hyper Blower. I think it's pretty obvious what they're going to give me. It's going to be this. I thought so. So I will attach to the Valiant. I'll mention another Valiant. Peak Acceleration. Grab a Psychic and a Grass, attach them both to the Valiant. Because then all we need is, if they come up Rare Candy Grimmsnarl, well, that's one of them. We just need the Techno Radar for the thingy now. So we're fine. We're already fine. That was a really good start. Like, genuinely. I didn't pick Valiant because of the type coverage. Like, Psychic type coverage is not very good right now. It's only really good in the Mega format with the Lucario, but I don't think Lucario will see a lot of play. Like, early on it probably will, but the fact that there's so many Psychic Pokemon in the format, that's what kind of limits it. Okay, there's a Spike Move, so no freebies anymore, but that's fine. We can deal with that. There's an Arven. Probably for a secret box. Or a Rare Candy. Looks like they are going to do what I suspected. So we can, if they don't, I think they're making a massive mistake here, but let's see if they do what I think they're going to do. And they're not going to bench another Impidimp. Punk up. That is fine. Oh, please tell me you're going to do what I think you're going to do. Oh, he is. Come on, don't play a Body Poffin or anything like that. Okay, Night Stretcher. That's for the Snorunt. That's fine. That's fine. Please. Hyper Blower, that's fine. You can have the Valiant with the damage for the F-Beck on. You can have that, because that's fine. Please, do not bench another Impidimp. I'm going to punish that hard if you don't. That's it. We're going to punish it. We have the Leaves. Oh, I love it when players make misplays like this. I really do. We're not going to give him the crown, because obviously that's 30 damage. Well, that's a knockout. We could have given them this Iron Valiant, but it really doesn't matter. Alright. Let's punish this play. So we've got Arven first for Techno Radar. And we might as well grab an EXP share, because obviously we might lose our energy in play, and that obviously is quite bad. Techno Radar the switch. Grab an Iron Leaves, and we'll grab... because we don't need another crown down, so I'm just going to grab another Valiant. Because we're going to need to start charging up these Valiants. We will definitely use Rapid Veneer. We can move the Jet Energy off, but I'm going to keep it there because we've got the energy in hand. Then I'm going to attach EXP share there. And then we will Prism Edge for the knockout. Goodbye, Grimmsnarl. The only thing snarling is probably my opponent right now. Because, yeah, for those that don't know, Rapid Veneer can move special energy. Oh, he is so mad. He is so mad. Like, genuinely so mad. He needs to spike me for another one. There we go. Now you're getting the gist, mate. Now you're getting the gist. That's fine. We can artisan for a freebie if we want, but I don't think we'll need to. The Frostlass ping will take out this Valiant eventually, which could be an issue. Oh, they are so mad. They are so mad. They're going in with a Badoo now. I'm just trying to think. Could we get... do we have any energy in there? No. I'm just thinking. Could we get a crown swing? I'm just thinking. I don't think we can. I mean, either way, like, it's not the end of the world. So... I think I need to bench another Valiant. I know that much. But then, in fact, no, I don't. I don't. So I'm going to attach here. I don't think I want to Iono. Because we can take out this Badoo and go down to even prizes. So I think we'll do that. So we'll just retreat into the Miraidon. And then peak acceleration for 60. Take that out. And I'm just going to accelerate more grass into play. In fact, I'll be brave and do a grass and a psychic. So that if we need to get another leaves out, we can. We could just Night Stretch for one. Or Night Stretch for a grass energy, that is. Like I said, I'm surprised I've cooked pretty hard with this list. Like, genuinely. This has been cooking. Obviously, you can take out the Iron Valiant here, which is a problem, but we can deal with that. It's not a major deal. We can deal with that. Obviously, we can take out the Monkey Dory with peak acceleration potentially as well. That's another option we can do. There's a Snow Runt. That's fine. There's a Spike Muff. Let me guess. Rare Candy in hand? No, the Morgrim. That's fine. Obviously, we don't play any boss, so we can't capitalize on that. But that's okay. There's that. Going into the Tatsugiri. Attract customers. That's okay. For an Iono, he's probably going to play that. And yep, not surprising it whatsoever. That was a pretty good turn from him. I will say that much. There's a Pokemon Catcher. Super odd. Put back Grimmsnarl and Dark, I'd imagine. Yep, and the Iron Bundle as well, surprisingly. Is he going to move off of the Monkey Dory and knock out the Val? Because that would make the most sense. He could also just leave it to die to a Frostlass ping, but no, he's actually giving me Fez draw. If we can find Fez, that is. That's fine. Because we can take this out with Miraidon anyway. In fact, no, we can't. We're 10 damage short. But we can just... No, we can't retreat the Miraidon at the minute. We can, though, go for a Pokemon Catcher and potentially gust this. Counter Catcher. The Iron Crown. Okay, that's annoying. Very annoying, in fact. Okay, Freezing Shrouds. For another load of 10. Okay. This could get ugly now. Never mind. Never punished, as some would say. Let's go for a Pokemon Catcher. Nice. Definitely going for that Morgrim. Go into the Iron Crown, or the Iron Leaves, and one-shot it. He has to have Rare Candy now. And even then, we could potentially punish if he comes back with thingy anyway. There's one of our Valiants, that's fine. I could have gone Miraidon into the Snow Rock, which is probably the better line. But it's, you know, we're getting to the point now where we're actually relying on top decks, which is not good, because obviously our Fez is in the bin. We preferably needed a Night Stretcher. I think we've played this matchup pretty well though, although they can still win from here. Like, there's no denying that. They can still win. Let's see where this Adrenabrain goes, because they have to do something here. They can't just sit and just wait for me to do anything. Because if I get an energy, I win with Valiant. Obviously, Prism Edge can't be used twice in succession, but we can still do something. Boss. Fine, that's fine. We've only played one catcher, but that's okay. We can just get more energy into play with the acceleration. So I'm honestly not forced. I don't mind putting more energy in play. Let's see what we get. Research, that's even better. Bump the stadium. Research. Okay. Do we potentially have game? In fact, no, we have game with energy. In fact, no, we don't, oh, we have Energy Switch. Why am I thinking that? To the Valiant, it doesn't really matter. Jet up the Valiant. Again, it doesn't really matter. I can play Surfer, it doesn't really matter. Attack on bits, does not matter. And then Laser Blade for 200. That's game against Grimmsnarl. I don't know why my brain just like had a sudden fart then for like getting game there, but it's fine. That's game against Grimmsnarl. We'll take that. 3-0 undefeated with Future Box. This list definitely did have the legs more than I thought it did. But can't wait to take a look at LDF's list. And level 35 achieved is always nice to see as well. Well, if that trainer points thing is not in the way. So, what did I think of the deck? This deck felt very good to play. It had a lot more lines than I thought it did. Definitely gave Grimmsnarl a hard time, which is very good. Obviously, they could have won from that matchup. They definitely could have. Like I said, there was a minor misplay done in that. I should have probably attacked with the Miraidon onto the Frost or the Snow Run. But it didn't really matter in the end. So it's not a major deal, but obviously that's something to consider. If you are going to obviously play this deck, is try and force the single prizes approach, because then you're putting them onto even prizes, and then you can just go with your 2 prizes and stuff like that. As for changes to this deck, obviously with Valiant going eventually, I don't think obviously like the best way to do it is probably LDF's way with the various type coverage attackers, because we still do have a lot of them in the format even after rotation. But like Iron Leaves was an absolute chad in those games. Obviously Valiant did his more than fair share. Miraidon helped out quite a lot as well. So there is definitely lines to improve this deck. Obviously once Valiant goes, it does affect it a little bit. But obviously if you're playing a standard Future Box list like LDF did, with obviously the Moth's type coverage, honestly I think that's probably the best way to play it. But still, I wouldn't discredit the Iron Valiant version, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it for today. Really hope you enjoyed seeing Future Box in action with Iron Valiant, and I'll see you next time.